What's up, everyone? It is Diecastbuffet here again with a 2025 Christopher Bell Craftsman Children's Miracle Network Toyota Camry here in the studio. One of the more unique paint schemes we saw during the season. Let's go ahead and check it out. Diecast box in hand, and welcome to today's Diecast review. This is perhaps one of the most unique Christopher Bell cars to actually be made in 1/64 scale. This is going to be a fun review. So the official name for it, Craftsman Children's Miracle Network Toyota Camry. I want to say this ran at Watkins Glen. I could be mistaken on that, but it does have the road course, windshield wiper, right? But it also has the right side field door. So either this was Chicago street course or was this Watkins Glen? That would be my two guesses, so to speak. Anyways, a Craftsman 20 car. The last time we had this made, I want to say it was 2018 or 2019. And it was a part of that, let's just say, famous for not good reasons, Authentics wave, where it had an Eric Jones car, and every single one of them were liquid color cars. So that's kind of a mini throwback to that Craftsman diecast. It was also made on like the PTC mold, which was not a fan favorite. So that's what it kind of reminds me of. But fortunately, no PTC mold, great quality. Let's enjoy this one. I'm going to go ahead and open it up. All right, folks, diecast out of the box, and look at this car, man. This is pretty cool. So the whole car has that classic Craftsman dark red paint job to it, but it has a little bit of a texture to it. So the whole car is actually painted gray. So all of the red around the car, which is like 90% of the whole diecast, it has just a subtle texture to it. We'll zoom in on it and show you that. But the car is actually painted gray, so that's kind of interesting. I would think it would be a little bit logistically easier to paint it red, but you know what? Hey, they're the experts on this stuff. But this is a cool paint scheme. It really reminds me of the Chase Elliott Napa Healthcare car. Some of the other, a little bit more colorful paint schemes we've seen throughout the last few years, and I like that. 20 years ago we used to see a lot more paint schemes like this. They were kind of a little bit more whimsical, but they were more colorful, a little bit more different. And I like that, once in a while, having a creative paint scheme or two. I think it's pretty cool. So go to the front windscreen of the diecast. I believe that's a Dayglow yellow windshield wiper. That might be the first one I've seen. You do have the Christopher Bell decal there with the Toyota badge. Over here to the hood of the diecast, Racing for a Miracle, benefiting Children's Miracle Network Hospitals. Craftsman with Ace, the helpful place there. Notice how the livery looks like it's kind of torn on the hood. That's a nice touch right there. I'm going to zoom in here on the front of the diecast, and you'll be able to tell the little bit of a texture around the red on the car I was talking about. So the car has a nice aesthetic to it, a lot of detail to it. You have all these little hands painted around the car, and I want to say they should be all unique, I think. Dang, that's pretty cool. I like that. So you have the number 20 right there. You have Camry on the front end. You have Joe Gibbs Racing. Notice how the gray kind of lines up perfectly with the Toyota Hammerhead headlights. The whole car is sprayed with kind of a matte finish to it as well. You could really see the texture on the door panel here. The little, it's kind of like small dots in it, so to speak. Kind of reminds me of like carpet in a way. I like that. You got Rheem, Mobile One, Mac Tools Sport Clips. Simeon's, you have, not sure what that decal is, Lincoln Welders, Sherwin-Williams, Doosan. Number 20 there, Goodyear, Cup Series. You have Christopher Bell, 4 race win stickers. I think one of them is the All-Star, that's why it has a different color to it. Interstate Batteries, over here to the B post, you have Toyota. I think that's Kofandi, is that how you pronounce it? It was one of the new sponsors he had in 2025. They actually made a diecast for it, I believe. I think it's a promo car, but they made a 1/64 for it, I believe. It might be available on their site as a promo. And then you have, I think it's Joe Gibbs Racing there. Craftsman. You have Reesers over there on the right rear quarter panel. I guess this is part of the paint scheme as well. So a little bit more of like a tear pattern, and the red is supposed to be at the bottom. I'm guessing the decal is a little bit raised up. That's why you see the gray underneath it. That would be my theory. Go to the back panel of the car. You have Ace right there. Number 20 on the right side, Toyota, Mobile One, Camry with XSE. You can also see some names around the car on each individual hand painted. My eyesight's not exactly the best. Right side of the diecast, and if the metallic style wheels. They're not really metallic. They're more of kind of a brushed aluminum look. But, man, they look sharp, dude. The rubber tires on these diecast, man. This rubber tire actually needs to... There we go. Fixed it. It was perfect. But, yeah, man, the tires look sharp on these diecasts. I don't know how many they're making of this particular car, but this is one of those really unique paint schemes. Tap in while you can. If it's still in stock over there at Circle B Diecast, if you're watching this in the month of May of 2026, enjoy the free shipping. Free shipping, any orders $30 or more, you can get whatever diecast you want, as many as you want, free shipping. Go crazy. You know, you ain't going to get a better deal than that. So enjoy that while it lasts for the month of May. Code Diecastbuffet, details in the description. Over to the top of the car, one thing I always mention on these 20 cars is how they use a different font for the roof of the diecast. They've been doing this all the way back to Tony Stewart, right? So that's a cool little inside tribute or, tradition the 20 car has always done at Joe Gibbs Racing. Craftsman right there on the top of the car. You can see a little bit of a shadow effect on the roof of the car as well. It's not just one standard shade of red. There's a little hint of a gradient just a little bit around the edges of it. It almost looks like a shadow. I don't think it's an actual shadow though. I could be tripping. Maybe it is. Who knows? Get Bell right there in the back window. And then over here to the deck lid, you have Ann and Robert H. Lurie, I'm not sure, Children's Hospital of Chicago. Okay, so it must have ran at the Chicago Street Race. That makes sense. So get this. If this car actually ran at the Chicago Street Race, which I'm assuming because that's what it says on the deck lid of the car, that's pretty neat. You want to know why? Because we have some other cars that ran at the Chicago Street Race. So check this one out. This could be cool. Chase Elliott with the Napa Gold filters car. That one, I believe, ran at Chicago. And, it would kind of make sense to have the car that, won the Chicago Street Race, Shane Van Gisbergen in the WeatherTech car, to have 3 diecasts that ran apparently in that event. That's pretty darn cool. So thank you all so much for watching the video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. This is definitely probably the most unique Christopher Bell car we've had. I want to say they ran a similar paint scheme in 2023 at the Roval, and it didn't get made in 164. It was a Craftsman car. I remember it had a little bit of I want to say it had like a comic book style to it. Am I tripping on that? I want to say they had a Craftsman car, and it was at the Roval, and it had like a comic book style to it. I could be completely off on that. But anyways, glad the diecast got made. Thank you all again for watching. Have a blessed one. DB, signing off.